given 10 minutes to discuss in your group. Okay, you can either maintain or change the views presented in task A, and in your discussion you can actually agree or support or oppose your other candidates' points of view, and then by the end of the discussion try to come to a decision. Okay, alright, we may start the discussion now.
Okay, good morning everyone. Today I would like to start the discussion by saying that a good students display certain characteristics. So I believe that the most important characteristic of a good student is obeying rules and regulation. And this is because they know the rules are intended to protect students against danger. So what is your opinion?
Thank you, Candidate D. Yes, I agree with your point that obeying rules and regulation is the most important characteristic of a good student. When students in schools obey rules and regulation, they will stay focused in school and they will most likely to get a better education. Staying focused is probably not a written school rule, but I'm sure that the principals, teachers and the parents want the students to follow. Rules that students can follow to help stay focused in class, including not talking to their friends when the teacher or the supervisor is teaching, unless told by the supervisor or teacher. Thus, I believe that obeying school rules and regulation is the most important characteristic of a good student. So, what is your opinion, Candidate A?
I do see your point, Candidate B, but my recommendation is well prepared for class is the most important characteristic for good student. What I mean is students can briefly take a look to the book or material before class. This is because students can take part in an academic discussion over the material. For example, we need to do some preparation before general study class and in order to write essay, and for maths class we need to go through the formulas and solution before class. What do you think, Candidate C?
I think you are right to say that, Candidate A. However, I think that volunteer to help others increases your social and relationship skill. Students have benefit from volunteering in their community. Being able to help others or improve their community is a valuable skill to learn them as they become responsible young adults. They get to learn about the world of work, build great work-related values, and mature socially through volunteering. For example, many teens end up going into careers that are needed by our society, such as working for non-profit or getting involved in medical, legal, or social work as a result of their experience with volunteering.
Excuse me, Candidate C. I do agree with your point that volunteering to help others is important characteristic for a good student. But I don't feel that it's the most important characteristic of a good student. I still stick to my point that obeying rules and regulation is the most important characteristic of a good student. This is said so because obeying rules and regulation can also make the student not only good in education wise but also in character and behavior. For example, a student which obey the rules and regulation, they will not involve in social problems such as playing truant, vandalism, gangsterism, and so on. Besides, they will also respect the teachers and other students in school and also in other places. So, what do you think, Candidate D?
Okay, you could be right, and I agree with your point. Because obeying rules and regulation doesn't only help for your studies, personal safety, and so on. It also shows that a good student respect the authority. By following the school rules, it shows that a good student understands the importance of the rules and what you respect and why you respect and the governing authority. For example, we face numerous rules in school and in life or in future when we are in the society. So obedience to these rules shows that a good students care and respect about those who created the rules.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have to say this. Mentally prepared is also important to a student. For example, if one comes into class upset, the likeliness of their mind wandering is great. If one comes into a class focused upon education and lesson, then the likeliness of them succeeding in the class is greater. Thus, they will get good result in their examination even if a test is given spontaneously by teacher.
Excuse me, I appreciate your opinion, but in my point of view, I feel that volunteer to help others is more important because volunteering improves the health, happiness, and in some cases, the longevity of volunteer. Example, when you volunteer to help others, you can make more friends with others. Friend is an important person in our life. Without any friend, you will feel lonely, stressed, and depressed because you didn't have a person to accompany, encourage, and console you when your family members are not beside you. When the students are in stress or lonely, they may tend to involve in negative activities such as playing trump and so on. By this way, I'm pretty sure that the student will not develop into a good student.
Sorry to interrupt, candidate C. I do see your point. You say that the students they will involve in negative activity, right? But by obedience to rules improve. Moreover, in my point, obeying school's rules improve your relationship with your teachers. Just imagine if you are involved in negative activities such as like just now candidate B just said, playing Tron. So you will have a critical identification in your teacher's eyes. So obeying school rules and regulation demonstrate that you care about your education. So for instance, submitting your homework and assignment on time, you don't procrastinate your work, and this can leave a good impression in your teacher's eyes. So I believe that students need to learn social grace to develop self-discipline by obeying school's rules and regulation.
It sounds like a good point because we need to build a good relationship with teacher, but I don't think that way. Based on my experience, I need to prepare experiment manual on my own before the experiment on next day. Without the manual, I cannot carry out experiment successfully.
Well, you have a point, but I believe that volunteers to help others able to showing responsibility. As a good student, responsibility is important because responsible showing a good student attitude, character, and morality. Example, a good student will not selfish to teach and discuss homework to others. For me, this is my duty to help a friend even though it's just a classmate.
Excuse me, candidate C. You said that volunteering to help others they can be more responsible, but I feel that participating actively in classroom, I think they will be more responsible because since they are very active to participate in classrooms, so I'm sure they are responsible to listen to what the teacher is trying to say, or they can be responsible to help their friends in studies. And I still stick to my point that obeying rules and regulation is the most important characteristic of a good student. For example, obeying rules and regulation can create a strong leadership in students. When they obey rules and regulation, I'm pretty sure the students will be more disciplined, right? So they can be a good example for the other students, and they can be a good example for other students, and they will be more responsible. Yeah, right or not? Of course, I feel that when they are more responsible, they are already in the criteria of a good student. So besides, they also can be a good leader in any organizations such as in any clubs and societies and so on.
Alright, you can conclude.
Does anyone have anything else to say, or else we should end the discussion here? Okay, to conclude, we are unable to come to a solid decision because myself and candidate D strongly believe that obeying rules and regulation is the most important characteristic of a good student. Meanwhile, candidate A and candidate C still stick to their own point that volunteering to help others and comes well prepared for class is the most important characteristic of a good student. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.